All right, now we have our reducers, like the application name. We need a mean to update this information so they can be reflected everywhere in the app. The only way a reducer can be updated is through functions that are called actions. So let's create our first action that should allow us to change the name of the application. Those actions are going to be stored in a separate folder, just like our reducers. So let's create the new folder in the state manager, and we're going to create a new action called app. As you should remember from the reducer step, each action needs to have a specific type, so that the switch statement can know what to do with the reducer state. So a type is nothing more than just a string that will be used for this purpose. So it could be anything. So let's create one that is significant and meaningful. So this action will help us change the name of the app. So we are going to call it change name app. And now the action itself is really just a function. And this function will return so the type attribute, which is the action type that we just discussed, and some other data that could be anything. It doesn't have to be called payload, it could be anything that will be used by the reducer later on. So here what we want is every time we call this action, the name of the application will be changed to Bob. And hopefully this new name will be visible in every component that is using the reducer attribute. So let's create the index.js here is really, again, just a way to create an interface for all our actions. And that will allow us in the future to import them wherever we need them much more easily. Now that this is done, we have to actually use the type that we just created in the reducer part. So we have to import the actions. So this is where the default export is very handy here, because we just have to import action type from Redux action, the folder, and like we have all of them available right away. And now really what's left to do is to use the right case in the switch statement here, and then update the current state with the new name that we have passed in the action function. So just for the sake of the example here, I'm going to add a button in the home component that is going to perform this action. The way to do that is fairly simple. We are going to use React Redux again and another hook called use dispatch. And this hook allows us to call an action through the Redux store. So it's going to take care of updating all the state and managing everything correctly. And all we have to do is dispatching the action using this hook now. So I'm just creating a new function here, and in the dispatch function we are going to import the action that we want to use, and we can just dispatch the change name function now. Be careful here, because we want to actually dispatch the object that is returned by the action. So we have to actually call the function, hence the parenthesis. So I'm stopping the video a little bit because I made a mistake here. Like if you notice, I changed the name of the action in the action file, but not in the home component. So instead of change name app here on line 10, it should be simply changed name. So you'll see that an error is going to be triggered, and then I can fix it later on. All right, so now that we are sure that the action is working, we can actually change the name of the app. So we are going to use the spread operator here just to copy the current state, and then we are going to replace the app name attribute with the payload of the action that we created earlier. And it's working. So I hope this has made the actions and reducers behavior clear for you. Now there is a catch here because actions can only be synchronous. Which means if you want to call an API, for example, you won't be able to use the current system. So this is where Redux Thunk comes in play, and that's what we are going to see now in the next video.